Good Sunday morning, everybody. Welcome into the Philly AM Sports with Alan Big Mike. What's going on, Mike?
What's going on? Al, crazy day yesterday for Philly sports, going 2-0.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And who would have thought Eagles locking up the NFC East the 3 weeks before the season ended, going in, beating the Bills, and then so much controversy swirling around a lowly Commanders Eagles game, which has some playoff implications. I'm not saying there's nothing important, but who would have thought so much drama in the Eagles, fandom, in the Eagles media, and just even surrounding a guy you might walk past at a Wawa, Mike.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like you have to look at the other side, okay? And I'm looking at the other side. Yeah, is Washington probably going to play their players? Yeah, but they're starting Josh Johnson. Like,
Yeah,
do you really think Josh
can't
Johnson's going to come in here and win?
It's not even just that. It's like they can't even if this was a meaningful playoff game. Half the guys, Jaden Daniels wouldn't be playing. A lot of their key offensive linemen couldn't be playing. Half their defense was already injured to begin with. So if they played them now, that would just be the dumbest decision from a football team all time. So as I talked to you off air, I said, yeah, I did my Friday show, the Philly Friday Frenzy. And I talked a lot about Eagles, Commanders, because the conversation, of course, is should they sit or should they play and try to get that 2 seed, and the importance of the 2 seed. And we talked about it. And I said there is a conversation for both, but ultimately here, I still don't change my mind, is the 2 things you get from the number 1 seed, Mike. It's of course, home field advantage throughout the playoffs, no matter what you do. But number 2, a bye. And I reminded everybody, we haven't had a bye week since week 9, right? Week 9 is our bye week, and now we are in week 18. We're banged up. We haven't had Lane Johnson play, which we know he's out for the game. Jalen Carter is officially ruled out for the game, which they say is hip. I'm sure it's not worth them having him play. Nakobe Dean, they're giving him as much time. Marcus Epps, he has a concussion. Dallas Goedert with a knee, and Jaden Phillips, who kind of twisted his ankle during the last game. And they said they're aiming for him in Lane to be back for the wild card round in the playoffs. So there's a shock. But my ultimate goal is to be healthy when going in. If it be a 2 seed or a 3 seed, they're not getting a bye. So in my eyes, that's the most important. Would I like to secure home field advantage with a 2 seed? For the only people who could not give you a home field is if you play the number 1 seed, which would be most likely the NFC Championship game. Anywho, yeah, I would like to, but I honestly think the Eagles are looking at this pragmatically, but also looking at this kind of a have your cake and eat it too. We talked about it. Josh Jacobs, he's starting. The Washington Commanders are banged up. There's no reason to think this team still can't win. It's just not going to be as easy, I guess it would be in this case, as people would think it is. And again, the big conversation, the big thing I have, Mike, I know I've been going on a little bit much, but I want to get your opinion on this, is that tell me how hypocritical it has been from a fan base. All I've heard is they should be playing because his offense hasn't been clicking on all cylinders, which I don't think anybody here is going to disagree with, Mike. You're not disagreeing with it. I'm not disagreeing with it. That is not wrong. But they had a really good game against the Raiders, which is a bad team, and that's all we heard about. Raiders are a bad team, right? Raiders are a bad team, of course. And then they played Washington the week after, and they had a little bit of a sluggish start, but they once they figured it out, they hit the ground running and beat them pretty significantly. And what was the same thing? The Commanders are a bad team. You can't judge it all. The Raiders and the Commanders win. Go to Buffalo, and they start off strong. Looked like it was going to be a smooth sailing game. offense couldn't complete a pass in the second half, and offense couldn't score a measly 3 points in the second half. And they think that going to play today would be good for the offense. But you tell me, if they went out and balled out today against this Washington Commanders team, does that make anybody feel better?
No. And you know what? And here's the thing also, Al, too. It's a 50-50 shot, literally, if you have since 2000. Since 2000, it is literally a 50-50 shot if you're the number one seed in the NFC. Like, I have it right here. I've got them up here. 2000, the Giants had the number one overall record or number one seed in the NFC. They went to the Super Bowl. Okay, the Rams the following year had the number one seed. They went to the Super Bowl. The 04 Eagles went to the Super Bowl. The 05 Seahawks went to the Super Bowl. The 06 Bears. Okay, then you go back down. The 09 Saints had the number one. You go down to 2013. The Seattle Seahawks went to the Super Bowl. In back-to-back years, they had it. Then it's the Panthers, then the Eagles in 2017, 49ers in 2019. And then, you know, the number one seed from 2019 doesn't go back until 2022, which is 4 years later. And it's the Eagles. And then you go underneath there for 2024. So you're looking legitimately half the time you're the number one seed, you get to the Super Bowl. So that just tells me that that bye's not guaranteed. You know what I mean? So
listen, the number one seed doesn't guarantee anybody. The numbers for 1 and 2 seed, by the way, I did the same type of math. But I did 1 and 2 seed. I think it was 14 out of the since 2000, 14 times the first and or second seed was a Super Bowl representative. For the NFC for that. So I get that's part of it. But if everybody's complaints, who are also complaining about them not playing, is that their offense isn't going to be good enough, and even if they beat Washington handedly, that doesn't mean anything. First and second seed be damned. I mean, not first, because I would love to have the first.
To be honest with you, I think they're going to end up with the second seed anyway. I think Detroit's going to beat Chicago today. I really do.
That was the other half of my story is, say the Eagles go and they do this, and they ball out, and they play and they win, and Chicago loses, or Chicago wins. This is the problem. When somebody else has your fate in their hands, that's another reason not to roll the dice. Like, it's a risk versus reward situation, and everybody out there I got jumped on. I literally got pounced on by. Listen, and I feel like the conversation's kind of split a little bit about, should they play or should they not play? I've even heard ex-Eagles go, well, they should play. And
guess what? And if something were to happen to a guy like A.J. Brown, like it did in 2023 when he got banged up and he got hit in the knee in the last game of the year against a meaningless Giants game, okay? And then he wasn't available for the Tampa game, and then you saw what happened there. You took one of Hurts's weapons away because he played them in a meaningless game. So, no, the rest would be, listen, they're going to start Tanner McKee, and I think Tanner McKee, are you guys really worried about this? Well, okay, if they lose, they get the number 3 seed, which means somebody's going to have to come here, okay? And if you're taking a look at it, and it really, like, I think what it is what this Eagles fan base is, I don't think they want to see the Rams.
No, they want to see Green Bay.
What's that? Are you worried about Green Bay? I'm not.
No, that's what I'm saying. They want to see Green Bay.
Right.
Because if you're the 2 seed, you're going to get Green Bay.
Right. And here's the thing. Even if they don't, dude, like, what a lot of people don't realize is that with San Francisco's loss last night, okay, it's really the game, more or less, it's where the Rams want to go play the first round. Whether they want to come here and play the Eagles or whether they want to go to Carolina, or because I'm saying Carolina. I think Carolina is going to win because I think Atlanta is going to beat New Orleans. So it's either going to come down to, do you want to go to Philadelphia or do you want to go to Tampa or Carolina? Now, granted, the Rams did lose in Carolina earlier this year, okay? But they smoked Tampa Bay. So, again, are they going to come here knowing what the weathers can possibly be? are they going to try? Like, they're going to go out there and try to win their game. They got Arizona today. Arizona's playing for a draft pick, so it's not like Arizona's going to give them much of a fight. I expect them to pull their starters at probably by halftime, and that's how much I think the Rams are going to be up on them. Which means San Francisco's now's got to come here. And I'm sorry, you saw that sorry ass San Francisco team last night. They are a product of their schedule, and I love it because
now everybody was so afraid. I mean, and listen, what is the Eagles' defense one Achilles heel that they have this year? It's the run game has been, and they've been much better against it as of lately, but. Also, again, the same conversation can be had about the strength of the teams in front of them from the run game, except for the Bills, which had a really good run game in Cooks, and they were able to stifle him for the most part.
And that was without Nakobe Dean, too. You got to remember that. Like, that was without Nakobe Dean that they were able to stifle. Dude, Buffalo's got the number one rushing attack in the NFL. They shut that down. Like, I do not – if the 49ers come here, even with the Eagles' offensive woes – two things that I seen last night with them. Robert Saleh's got to bring pressure to get any kind of pressure on the quarterback. They do not. Their front four does not generate any pressure. And they were sitting back there with a statue in Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's not going to pull the ball down and run. And I just don't – like, I think the Eagles would – I think they would tear apart. Like, you would see a really good – not – the offense is what it is. But – I think you would probably see a decent offensive game. I'm not going to say a great offensive game, but you would see a decent offensive game because I watched Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonneau tear that 49ers defense up last night with their run game. And I'll tell you what, I like our two backs going into this too. As long as they keep Tank Bigsby as that second back and kind of not.
I would like to see him a little bit more meshed into the gameplay. I'm not saying take ton of snaps from Saquon.
But you can take at least. I would say give him 8 to 10 snaps a game to limit the wear on Barkley. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have to do that. And I think they found something with Bigsby too. I really do. You might that they have because AJ Dillon's been a healthy scratch for like the last 4 games. You haven't seen or heard about AJ Dillon at all. So. For me, honestly, man, I really look at this game. I think the Eagles, second teamers can beat Washington's, whatever team they're sticking out there.
Technically, you've got their third string quarterback.
Right. Yeah, you're going up against their number 3 quarterback. Like you said, their offensive line's banged up. Some of their stars are banged up. I know they got McLaurin going today and Deebo Samuel going today. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you watched the 49ers game last night, but the Seahawks, our old boy Josh Jobe looked pretty damn good out there covering Jennings last night. Like, tell me we couldn't use him.
Let me ask you this question because I wanted to talk a little NFL altogether because I got the scenarios in front of us right now. So I want to kind of walk through them with you. But number one question, Mike Laro, is the NFL, is the fan base, is people in general, because I always kind of feel like even though Seahawks have been pretty much patted this, themselves at number 1 this year, and Sam Darnold, all the credit in the world, but are we looking past the Seahawks, or is it Sam Darnold has to prove in the playoffs that he can handle it?
Listen, I think each year it's its own individual year.
I agree.
I'm sorry, like he took that Minnesota team last year, and they were 14. They had the same record as Seattle has this year. So, I think they're very for real, and I think for the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to go to Seattle and play them there. Now, do I think they can beat them? Because you got to forget, a lot of people forget across on that Seattle defensive line are 2 former NFC East guys, Leonard Williams, and DeMarcus Lawrence. Lane Johnson knows how to make DeMarcus Lawrence disappear, especially in big games. Mm-hmm. He did it every time he played them against Dallas. He gave up 1 sack in I think it was 16 or 17 matchups. He's given up 1 sack to DeMarcus Lawrence. So, again,
and here's a big question on that is, even though he hasn't played a lick of football in weeks, with it 6 weeks now? It'll be 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. I mean, is he going to be healthy?
Yeah, I think he will. I think
100%.
I think you're going to get an 80%, but I think an 80% Lane.
I'll take an 80% or more Lane Johnson. Absolutely. I mean, that's the truth. But I disagree with the fact that Sam Darnold does have to prove, because I get what you, and I do agree with you. Every year is a different year, and yada yada yada. But sooner or later, certain people with certain bugaboos, whatever you want to call them, you do have to get the monkey off your back, and that is a big monkey that's been on his back for a very long time, and it didn't serve him well in Minnesota, which Minnesota made them go, fine, we have a guy in J.J. McCarthy, we got to roll with him. Good or a bad decision, that's to be figured out down the line. Then he did it last year, again, with Seattle, and you're like, okay, maybe Sam Darnold has something. Maybe, being on a Jets team is the kiss of death.
No, you got it the opposite way. He was with the Jets. Actually, he came from Carolina.
No. That's what I'm saying is, like, in the beginning when he first came, when he first played, it wasn't the kiss of death for a lot of quarterbacks. I think how many people probably did not have a chance in the NFL who could have had a better chance if they were on a better run team or better run organization, a la the Jets or the Cleveland Browns or something. How many first round picks or first overall picks were giant busts, not because they were bad players. I mean, even Baker Mayfield had a little bit more of a resurgence going to Tampa. We'll talk about him in a second. Yeah. Because I literally think the Buccaneers is the 2023 version of the Philadelphia Eagles. They will limp into the playoffs, not looking good the entire end of the season, and then get lambasted by whoever they play against.
Al, I don't even think they make it, because they have to. Their key for them to get in today is New Orleans has to go into Atlanta and beat Atlanta. I don't see that happening. Even though, believe it or not, New Orleans is playing the best football of anybody in that division right now.
Yeah, no.
Here's the last month. But I'll tell you what, what I saw from the Falcons on Monday night, if they're able to repeat what they did Monday night against the Rams, and the Falcons are home. The Falcons play different brand of ball when they're at home. They're like Jekyll and Hyde. They can go on the road and they don't look so good. But at home, they're a different team, man. They play tough. They play physical football. And I'll tell you what, I think they're going to beat the Saints. And if they beat the Saints, the Panthers are in. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're the Rams today, you got an inferior opponent in the Cardinals. You can play your starters the first half and get a ridiculous lead on there. So when you start filtering in your second and third string players, they're going to move up to the 5th seed. I think San Francisco is going to drop down. Now, the question is going to be is, if the Eagles win this game, then all eyes are going to be looking at that Bears-Detroit game. And again, I think Detroit's a little pissed that they didn't make the playoffs, and I think they're looking to spoil Chicago a little bit, because there's a big difference between, the Bears, who would have to play the 49ers again for the second time in 3 weeks. But this time the game will be in Soldier Field. It won't be at Levi. You know what I mean? So a lot of elements and stuff like that. Plus, I think it would be better matchups. You know what I mean? Like, you got the
race. The NFL knew what they were doing when they set Week 18, because you even though you have teams that are pretty solidified, take the Rams, for instance. They're playing their starters. That was Sean McVay's decision, I guess, as well as the organization. I question how long. If anything just doesn't look right or anything looks scared, is there a very short leash? Absolutely. But he started. But I mean, you got. I know it depends for the Panthers or the Bucks on a Falcons win. Of course, the Panthers go. If the Falcons lose, the Bucks go.
Well, I mean, listen, you have some interesting. I mean, it's not just the NFC side of it too. You got the AFC side of it too.
Yeah.
Think about this for a second, right? If Denver loses and New England lose, if both of them lose and Jacksonville wins, Jacksonville gets the number 1 overall
pretty
seed.
Crazy. Is Jacksonville the AFC version of the Seahawks?
No.
Okay.
If I'm looking at the NFC version of the Seahawks, that would be Denver. I think that would be Denver. Denver's good defense. They got Bo Nix. They don't put Bo Nix in trouble. They run the football. But to me, I just think it's going to be a little tough for them. I really do. I mean, they got shellacked last year. But if you're looking at the AFC side of the ball, I mean, God, you got the Chargers, who they play today, and the Chargers they play.
So to give everybody the scenario that you were just talking about is, if the Broncos win and the Patriots and Jags both lose, they'll be the number 1 seed. If the Patriots win, Broncos lose, and Patriots are the number 1 seed.
Broncos, yeah. Right now, if the Broncos win today, they wrap up home field. If the Broncos lose and New England wins, then everything runs through Foxborough. If both of the 2 top teams, which is
pretty crazy to think of it. I feel like it's 2008
right.
all over again.
Right. If Denver and New England lose and Jacksonville, which, by the way, Jacksonville will know, there will be pressure because Jacksonville plays at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So if they win their game, that means that kind of forces, if you really think about it, it really forces those teams to have to play their starters a little longer. Now, granted, one of them is going to not make that, there's only 1 spot available. So whoever that second team is, holy cow, man, it's going to be a little rough, I think.
Hey, Mickey, what's good morning to you, buddy? What's going on?
Morning, Mickey.
Thank you, Frank. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Frank?
And Mike Fuji, what's going on, fellas? Happy New Year. It's good to see you, the Fuge.
The Fuge. Happy New Year, Fuge. That's my buddy, dude.
Yeah.
He is the mayor of all mayors, dude, down at the Philly Sports Complex.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of 1 and 2 seed implications for, I mean, if you look at it, there's so, like, the between the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Jags, there's so many scenarios here. It's ridiculous.
The top 4 seeds in the AFC can flip by the end of the day. Because you also got to forget, too, tonight we got Pittsburgh-Baltimore in Pittsburgh. So that's going to decide the 4th seed. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of, in a way, I like Pittsburgh. I really do. I think Pittsburgh's going to win the game. I just don't like how Baltimore's been playing this year. And the one thing that got me was Derrick Henry had his explosive game last week. And every time he has an explosive game, he kind of disappears the next week. Mm-hmm. It's kind of how it's been with him this year. He would go off in the game, score 2-3 touchdowns, and then he wouldn't be heard from. And I think Pittsburgh really is going to be able to kind of, let that go. Now, they won't have DK Metcalf for this game. So if Pittsburgh does win, they will host the Bills next week with DK Metcalf. So they'll get him back for this. And they also lost Darnell Washington too, their big strong tight end. They lost him, I believe, for the season last week. So that just means Aaron Rodgers is going to have to look and kind of give you the ball out. And besides, I like Pittsburgh's defense over Baltimore's defense. Baltimore's got a crappy defense.
Mickey's hoping the Niners play the Eagles. I mean, listen, in my eyes, it's the playoffs. Any team's a scary team. Of course, you can look at it on paper. Oh, I would love to play the Bucks, or I would love play the Packers because they're pretty beat up right now. But I'm always a chip in a chair kind of guy. Maybe it's the homer in me, that type of thing. But, in the playoffs, everybody's a good team. It's clean slate. It's win or go home. You know what I mean? Like, people play differently, backs against the wall and when there's nothing left. But from an NFC, AFC side, the AFC, like you said, the AFC is literally you could throw the pieces in the air. Yeah.
Well, we know Pittsburgh's
it's actually all of them. The only one that really is straightforward, to be honest with you, is the 4 seed.
Yeah, it's the 4 seed. That's it. Yeah, it's just whoever wins that Pittsburgh-Baltimore game.
Yeah, same thing with the NFC. The only one that has no implications is the Green Bay game. They're the 7th seed no matter what happens this week. And I think that's
which I felt is weird too, because they're actually playing some of their players. Like Josh Jacobs is supposed to play today. Like, I don't know what LaFleur's thinking. Like if you're stuck in at that 7th seed, why are you playing anybody? You know what I mean? Like, give your guys a break. But again, to me,
listen, I also think there's a lot of gamesmanship with that, to be honest with you, Mike. And I think part of it is they might start guys a series. You know what I mean? That might be it. And listen, in the series, anything can happen. you can't go out and try to not get hurt because it never works out well. But you can just not go out and let guys, like you said, get a breather. I think. Listen, the only thing that you have to worry about is if the Eagles' offense looks really good under Tanner McKee. Oh my God!
Yeah, I know it's going to give all the talking
nauseating.
Right, but I mean, people got to realize too that McKee and Hurts are two different quarterbacks. You know what I mean? McKee is more. He's a guy who's going to stand in the pocket and throw the ball. He's a pocket passer. Hurts is not a pocket passer. So again, like you would expect him to, I don't know, I'm not going to say you expect him to look good, but if they're tailing the offense to being pocket presence and throwing the football around, you're kind of going towards Hurts. And I'm not being a Hurts hugger, you know what I mean, as Matty likes to call us. But
he's not a Hurts hater either. You can't call him that.
No, I've never been a Hurts hater. Listen,
no. I'm saying is he tells you, I don't hate Jalen Hurts. Like, you don't seem like a guy who likes him too much either.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and here's the thing. And they complained about him not throwing deep down the middle. He's done that this year. He has. Mm-hmm. He's hit Dallas Goedert 20 yards downfield. He's thrown it down the middle. Okay. Yes, does he prefer to go to the, you know, from the hashes on out? Probably. But he has thrown the ball down the middle. Like, and this is what I don't get. Like, some of the guys are, well, he's just scared to throw. No, he's not. No, he's not. Like, again, like Jalen Hurts can throw a really good deep ball. And to me, I'm not going to take nothing out of this if Tanner McKee goes out and throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm not going to be like, wow, damn, you know, maybe we ought to start. No, absolutely not. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing is, a lot of it is also fought on the offensive line. I mean, there was even news or rumors or whatever you want to call it. I think Jordan Mailata said a little something that made people feel like he wasn't going to be here much longer. And I think he was just kind of talking, hey, you know, kind of like Lane was not too long ago. You know, I'm going to finish out my contract and, you know, we'll see where it goes from there, you know. And people are all nervous because, you know,
well, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, they got Lane's replacement right now on the roster with Minton, the tackle. He kind of hurt. Oh, yeah, I've seen him play. Dude's a beast. He's straight beast. So I wouldn't be surprised next year if he's healthy, if you see him replace Tyler Steen at guard, just to give him snaps and get him on the field, because he was banged up. You figure Michigan had a championship run, you know, so he was kind of banged up, or not championship run, but he played a lot of football over his last 3 years at Michigan. So he was a little banged up when coming in, and he ended up aggravating his back, and that's why you haven't seen him this year. I watched that kid play at Michigan. He's an annihilator. He's 6'7", he's like 330, and he's got cat-like reflexes on the outside. That is Lane.
I know who he is. I know of him, but I just thought I know he's been a little banged up, but
yeah, he's had a back issue this year, which I thought the Eagles were smart. They really didn't need him. They're going to let him get healthy.
I kind of did need him, but yeah, I got you.
They did, but they didn't. You know what I mean? Like you have other people that can step in for that. Hello.
Don't even want to know.
I thought the sun was up, but it was actually the moon.
Hey. So other news is the speculation on Jalen Phillips is you know, do you think the Eagles can extend him, will extend him? I mean, they got to worry about Jalen Carter. They got to worry about Jordan Davis. You got to worry about a couple other things. I mean, he is.
You got to remember too, the salary cap's about to go up too, significantly. So,
TK, thank you. How you doing,
TK. So you got to remember that's going to go up too.
You're saying Jordan Mailata's staying question is the price tag. What is his contract currently? Let's see.
I know he just signed. Didn't he just sign an extension? I thought it was last year he signed.
Not that long ago.
It was either last year or the year before.
A 3-year, $66 million contract session in April. So he's still got $22 million in the books. 48 million of it guaranteed. And he got a $20 million signing bonus. That was a way of keeping him low cost by giving him 48 and then 20 of it in a signing bonus. So he's good through 2028. I mean, I think he's going to finish that out. And let's see, how old is Jordan?
I think he's 29.
He is 28.
20. All right, that's close.
Yeah, he'll be 29 by next. It's beginning of the off season. March 31st is his birthday. So by the end of that, he'll be in his early 30s. So it'd be the decisions to be made. Thank you,
Now,
Fuge. How you doing, bud? And Sean, what's up, Sean Kilrain? I haven't seen him.
What's up, Sean?
What's going on, buddy?
My former college football frenzy co-host.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Sean. What's going on, buddy? Long time no hear.
Hey, I just wonder. I wonder if Sean and Joe and I know Paul's mad, but I know I didn't get a chance to hear those guys about Notre Dame not making the playoffs. I'm pretty sure that they're probably mad. They probably. I wanted to get Kilrain's take on that. But
Sean is saying Jalen Hurts will have a streak end today. Hurts has the most consecutive seasons of 10 plus rush TDs by a QB 4, and the streak will end at 4 as Hurts has 8 rush TDs this year.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a little on him on this one. I mean, the offense. Listen, I'm not blind to this. The offense has been up and down, stagnant at times, just downright non-existent at times. But the one thing is going into a playoff, and I've talked about this with you, is how do I put this? Sorry, hold on one second. I'm having a technical difficulty here. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah. I mean, for him, I don't know. I mean, what you've been saying as far as the line. Oh man, this camera is just not working today. Let me put that back. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, yeah, with the offensive line, to me, I think Cam Jurgens, how he got to be a Pro Bowler to me is astonishing. I don't think he had a great year at all, and I think he's been one of the problems. I think he's been getting kind of a la S, like what Jason Kelsey did early in his career. How he got bullied. Yeah, he looked like he got bullied a lot this year, Al. And I know you watch the line just like I do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, intense. It's listen. The line has been the biggest problem. I mean, it's been the one consistent thing that the Eagles have had over the last 5-6 years. A very stout offensive line. Even when some guys got injured, guys stepped up and were able to play. And it is with that not being there, that safety blanket has been gone for the offense and has played definitely in the run game. It has played definitely in the ability for them to throw downfield or anything along those lines. So all that plays a factor in it. Sean's also saying Hurts is the only QB in NFL history with 4 consecutive seasons of 10 plus TDs, and he only has a QB to have 4 seasons of 10 plus TDs. Oh, I always love Sean. He's like the king of facts. Like,
yeah, he's like our Mel Kiper.
Yeah. So here's an interesting conversation. Caleb Williams is the Bears is out for today.
Yeah. That's kind of telling you right there where the Bears are going with that.
Yeah.
Like the Bears ain't going to care whether they're 2 or 3. But the thing is, though, like I said, it really kind of bodes well for them because either which way, they're either going to host the Rams. They're either going to host the Rams or the Niners are going to go into Chicago. And for what they're calling for next week, because they kind of touched on it on the telecast last night. They were talking about, second week of January in Chicago, because they always say they get the ESPN says they always get the worst weather games of them. So they were sitting there. They're like, get ready to go to Chicago next week. So It could be. Like I said, I would love to see a rematch of that 49ers and Bears game because they just played last week on Sunday night and it was a classic game.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
Jeremy Fowler just said that the Packers locked in the 7th seed will rest a significant number of their players, except for Trayvon Diggs. They picked up Trayvon Diggs, and he will make his Packers debut today.
Good for him.
But let me ask you a question. Do the Eagles say, you know what, maybe we aren't resting everybody if they see this? Or maybe do they just have do they have them dressed? Is Jalen Hurts get dressed for the game today?
No, there's no chance. Jalen Hurts will be on the sidelines with a piece in his ear, with an earpiece in today, probably trying to help Tanner McKee. Now, would I be surprised if Schmitty or somebody got dressed for a series or two? No. Like, you're not going to see him. You're not going to see AJ. Dallas isn't playing. So, would I be surprised if they put Schmitty out there for a series and said just run deep?
Ian said hopefully Howie got Kevin Patullo's replacement has soon the season's over. I don't know, man. If this team makes a run, let's say NFC Championship game. I won't say any further. Is Kevin Patullo's job locked up?
Yeah.
Is it locked up right now?
You know, can we? I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I do think some of this is on Patullo, but, you know, the players got to, at least, they got to take some accountability for this too. You know, Kevin Patullo can't go out there and throw a football. He can't catch a football. He can't create separation on DBs. He can't separate separation on linebackers. Okay, he can't run the ball up the middle. He can't do none of that. You know, I think, honestly, oh, here we go. I knew he was going to write a book about this. Every Notre Dame fan is mad that they didn't make the postseason with that. And they kind of had a gripe about that. But, Sean, I'll get with you on this one, man. I've read all your comments. I've seen it backstage. I've read them all, and I agree. I agree with you, man. That's all I'm going to say. But, you know, again, some of these players have to take accountability. And I don't think some of them are. Like, again, we're seeing the same. Like, last week, we saw the same pass concept. AJ down the sideline for a 50-50 ball. Now, granted, I thought he should have caught that ball. That ball hit him right in the hands. That ball hit him right in the hands last week, and he dropped it. Of course, Devontae Smith makes a great catch, and, you know, the refs with the Buffalo accents call it a no catch. That was BS. You know, but, again, you have to – it's not just all on Patullo. And who are you going to get to come in here? You want to get Eric Bieniemy to come here? Because I heard that name got kind of rekindled too about bringing him in here. Well, just remember, Eric Bieniemy went to Washington a couple of years ago, and it wasn't when they got to the NFC title game. It was under the last regime.
Before Snyder sold
it. Before Snyder sold it. He was their offensive coordinator, and how good did they look? Again, a lot of things. And why hasn't Eric Bieniemy became a head coach? You know, everybody else on Andy Reid's tree has gotten hired. And I mean everybody. Hell, Matt Nagy had a job, which they're saying Matt Nagy might be up again for another coaching role.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know the Cowboys are moving on from Eberflus, which, you know, he went from being Chicago's HC to Dallas's DC to unemployed, which
he'll get picked
no shock there. Not the way I don't know, man. He might like a linebackers coach or something like.
No, listen. Eberflus, you got to remember something, dude. He was the architect of those Bears defenses that were good. Those really good Bears defenses. He was kind of the architect of that. And
well, listen, the defense was the biggest Achilles heel for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but you got to take a look. I mean, they traded away their best player. They traded their best player in season. Okay, and they had injuries all along the back. I'm not making an excuse for the Cowboys, but let's keep it a bean. They didn't draft well either.
No.
Look at the guys that they drafted. Mozzie Smith, when they drafted Mozzie Smith, our good buddy Dave Yarno, I was on a pod with him, and he was so excited. He's like, yeah, that's my guy, Mozzie. And I went, dude, I said, he'll be out of the league in 3 years.
So Shaw wants to know, would you take Stefanski if he when
Yes.
he leaves the
Yes,
Browns.
and he's a local guy. Now that's a guy. That's a former head coach. I would bring in.
Delco guy.
Like, what's that?
I think he's a Delco guy.
That's if he gets fired. I mean, but
Well, I know he wants out.
yeah, I don't think he wants to work for that ownership no more. But I could see them reaching out and bringing him in because the Browns, again, I think he wanted to start Dylan Gabriel and ride with Dylan Gabriel, and they told him no, you got to put Sanders in, and that's what I think. There's a thing there with that.
I want to change gears because Joe Hale kind of had one of my other bullet points I want to bring up. So I want to talk about his comment here in a second. I did the Friday show after Christmas, right? So it was the day after Christmas, and I said I had if somebody wanted to get me a late Christmas present, I knew it to be I figured it to be a pipe dream, right? But we still hear about the conversation of somehow, some way, they're still going to deal Alec Boehm to the Mariners. There's still conversations about Nick Castellanos, which I don't think anything's happening. One of the big things in the Phillies is, the one Japanese pitcher, Tatsuya Amai. I think I said how you said. Don't even quote me on that. He ended up signing a 3-year, $54 million contract with Houston. But now maybe John Middleton and Dombrowski want to get me that Christmas present I asked for. Apparently, and I think it's a long shot, but they're showing more where there's smoke, there's fire type situation. That Bo Bichette is they're in conversations with him, and they're setting a meeting with him.
Okay,
and if you can unload Alec Boehm and play him at third base, or
no, you don't want to play Bichette at third,
or slide, but Bryson Stott over to third base. You got to do something. Can't let him play second. You already have that lot with Bryson right now. Or do you maybe Bryson gets moved? Maybe they get something for Bryson. They move on from him. I don't know. You still got to figure out what you're going to do with third base if you move on from both of them. But my point.
I'm trying to think. What's the guy's name that hit 4 home runs against the what the hell is it?
Edmundo Sosa
from the A's. From the A's, he hit 4 home runs on us.
Oh, from the A's. Wow. But he's over in San Diego now, right?
No, you're thinking of Mason Miller, not Mason Miller. Oh. I'm thinking of the bat. I can't remember the guy's name that hit. He hit 4 home runs against the Phillies just this past year. He's a third baseman. I think you could trade Bryson Stott to get him.
Max Muncy.
What is it?
Just trying to see.
He plays left field, but he's also a third baseman for them. Well, he's their left fielder.
Muncy was in there. But they also had Darryl.
No, look at their left
and Brett Harris.
No, maybe he might have been their DH, but he also played he played left field when he was here. And he played 1 game at left, 1 game at third. And,
what was that? They had
Rooker.
The guy.
There he is. There he is.
Rooker.
There it is. Yeah, the coffin is opened. Rooker.
Yes.
Yeah, I would try to pull off a trade to get him. And I would throw Scott in that trade. If you're going to go get Bo Bichette, put him a second. You have Trey. Trey ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but Rooker, you have the trade for him, right?
I believe so.
I was blanking out on it. Get over it. I just Googled it and it came up with it. I don't know why.
I couldn't remember his name, but
25 Max Muncy, but whatever.
I don't want Muncy. Muncy's old.
No. Yeah, I know.
But Rooker, Rooker can play third. So I would definitely try to go and get him. It all depends on what the same.
Well, they do have. They have a. There's one of their top prospects is a third baseman, isn't it? I don't know how far along he is. It's like White or something, right? Tommy White, something like that. I don't know, but maybe they would be willing to move on if they're willing to move forward with him. But if you have to trade, and then you got to pay. I mean, you have to have something worth trading for. Like, do they take, Alec Boehm, but apparently it's just the Mariners I've been hearing about. Listen, I know it's still probably a pipe dream, but the fact that the fire's there and the Phillies haven't done much, it's all been pitching outside of Garcia, right? I mean, it's been pitching. So they've just signed a handful of minor league contracts.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question. Do you think JT gets re-signed because you've been hearing certain stuff now with him that him and the Phillies are not even talking?
Who? Him and
the Phillies and JT. They're not even talking, from what I understand.
Well, yeah. Listen. Nobody's a bigger JT fan than I am, and I really think he is needed, especially with the. And I kind of was hoping they were going to sign Tatsuya a little bit because of the holes in the pitching conversation. I mean, we don't know. I mean, if anybody could do it, Zach Wheeler can, but the kind of surgery that Zach Wheeler had, thoracic outlet syndrome surgery, it's not like if you had Tommy John, if you had knee surgery, shoulder surgery, where I would feel as comfortable. I mean, that there's people who've had the surgery and did not come back. And it's something to worry about. We don't know what Andrew Painter is. We're putting all our eggs in the Andrew Painter basket. We don't know Christopher Sanchez is the only one for sure guy that we Luzardo hopefully has another good year, doesn't kind of fall off like he did. And Aaron Nola, we don't know what we're going to get back with Aaron Nola. So I don't know. It's good.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Painter's like Aaron Nola 2.0, to be honest with you.
Like current Aaron Nola? Or
I think he's like Aaron Nola 2.0. He'll be good, but he'll just have that one inning. Like, to me, he's too up and down. Like, why do the Phillies always get these pitchers? And it's like by the time they get to the major leagues, they're like so screwed up. I mean, Nola was okay, but I mean, look at all the pitching prospects that we had. You know what I mean? Like, granted, by the time they got up here or they got moved, they were just like damaged goods. Like, we had Drabek's kid, Kyle Drabek. He was a part of the Doc trade. He came up here, fizzled out. I mean, we had Gio Gonzalez for the longest time.
Sean saying infield with Bo Bichette at third, Turner at shortstop, Nico Horner at second base, and Harper at first. Sounds pretty good. Trade Bowman Stott for starting pitching. A right-hand platoon bat for left field. Unlikely, but would be awesome. Yeah, anybody can trade. I told you my thing is, hey, Mikey P. He changed his picture in there. Look at that handsome devil.
Put the little smiley face up there.
Look at that handsome devil. Rooker does not play third base. He's just a DH and outfielder, mainly right field. Okay, because I thought I knew he came up as a third baseman, but
he came up as a third baseman. He came up as a third baseman. So.
I always thought he played in the outfield too, and he was always a defensive problem. Like I felt like getting him was going to get like a younger version of Kyle Schwarber, like a guy can mash the ball. But what do I know? What are your thoughts on Andrew Painter coming up this season? I think I just said him.
Me too.
There's the fear of the unknown. Sean, there's definitely the fear of the unknown. I mean, he didn't listen, he came off Tommy John surgery. What he did in 2025 was nothing to make you feel this guy's MLB ready. But then now he's been able to lick his wounds, get some training in. Spring training will definitely be a big factor. Back to the JT conversation. Here's my thing is JT, they either need to make a decision now or move on from him. Like Matty B brought up something good point. I hate saying those words out loud. I know. But we are only about 6 weeks away from pitchers and catchers, if not less. I don't even know if we're even that far away at this point. And your team's not. And I know now baseball's a lot different than it used to be. Guys sign in the middle of spring training. Like I think Bo Bichette is the kind of guy that unless some great contract comes out, he's not going to sign with anybody else right away. He's going to kind of let it stew. And I don't know, maybe JT's trying to just let it stew and let the Phillies kind of blink first. I mean, I get it. He's the end of his career. I mean, he's going to get if he's going to get a few years, he wants a few years, or the Phillies, they are stuck in a really rock and a hard place right now. Nothing they're doing is making me feel warm nor fuzzy inside. Yeah, here you go. 38 days from pitchers and catchers. Thank you. So, I mean, with that being said, I'm almost going to treat the Phillies like I'm treating the Sixers this year. I'm just watching it one day at a time and hopefully enjoy it, but at the same time wonder, depending on what they do. But Mike and I'll ask the chat, please tell me, if they go out and they somehow say get Bo Bichette, and will that make you feel better from an offensive standpoint at this point, or is there still too many holes knowing that Nick Castellanos is still a Philly? I know they're saying Garcia's at right field, but what are you going to do with Nick Castellanos? You're going to leave him on the bench?
Put him in left. Put him in left
field. Put him in left field, or let him DH, or not DH. Put him on the bench.
Left field.
I mean, what needs to happen for the Philadelphia Phillies for Mike Lar to go, all right, I like where we're going with this. I'm interested now. My eyes are peaked.
If they somehow sign Bo Bichette, my eyes will be interested. I don't want Alex Bregman. And that's the name. That's another name I keep hearing being connected with the Phillies is Alex Bregman, and I don't want him, man. What's he got? He's like a couple. I think he's 32. 32-year-old third baseman.
And he's sought to have like a 5-6 year contract.
Yeah, I know. That's why nobody signed him yet.
That's why the Phillies. I mean, listen, this is why it's been pretty quiet. I mean, look at what they've done. Outside of signing Kyle Schwarber for 5 years, $150 million, what else have they done? They've signed guys to 1-year contracts, minor league contracts. I think the only other multiple year contract was 2 of the pitchers, right? They had 2 years and 3-year guy, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that is it. So and it's been all pitching and it's been all bullpen. They have really just stockpiled in the bullpen. But they haven't done much with anything in the field yet. They've been trying to get rid of 2 guys, and nobody, and I mean nobody, is showing, as far as I know, any interest in either one of these guys. I mean, somebody might find a little interest in Nick Castellanos, but not for $20 million.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And that's why they can't be aggressive as we would like them to be, because they don't want to sign a guy who is either a little past his prime to another 5 year. Because then, all right, you go sign Alex Bregman 5 years, and there's another 5 year, $150 million. You can't do it. The minute you sign Kyle Schwarber to that was the minute you said, I can't sign anybody else to that. Unless you do like a Bo Bichette, who's a lot younger. What's he, 27, 28?
Something like that.
And that's my point, is the Phillies have totally backed themselves into a giant corner, and they're trying to do everything, I want to say on the cheap, but for a bargain. They just, because they don't want to overcommit and then be stuck with 4 or 5+ year contracts.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like they have to sign JT just because they don't really have a catcher in their system. Now, I would love for them to try to get Ali Rushman out of Baltimore, but that's going to take a great deal of people from your farm system to get him.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I always heard about Dombrowski, he's willing to trade away all your pieces. Is he willing to trade away all your pieces? But at this point now, because he hasn't done it yet, that's all been said, like, oh, he's going to trade away all your pieces, and he's just going to give up your whole farm system, and he hasn't done that.
No, he hasn't done that here. But then again, too, like that could have been more or less coming from up top too. Like, yo, you're not going to make our cover, dry, be dry. So, another name that always gets floated around during this time of year, always coming to the Phillies, is Mike Trout. I don't want him. He's too banged up. Like Mike,
is that conversation again?
Yeah. I've seen a few things.
I mean, I listen, but the problem with Mike Trout is not even the contract numbers. They're going to want a king's ransom if you're moving on from Mike Trout.
I don't know. Is it though? Because stop and think about it for a second. Like, is it really going to be a king's ransom for him? He's been out like the last 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, if they were to try to move him, I think now, if they were to get Trout, you're not going to. Where are you going to put him? You know what I mean? Where are you going to put him? The only place you can put him is in left field. You're not going to put him in center because you're bringing up Crawford.
Well, yeah,
now that would provide a nice spark. As far as batting wise, but again, are you will? For a fact, him playing the outfield, he's going to be banged up, man. Just because of the way
his consistency and you having the what's it called, the DH kind of clogged up with Kyle Schwarber and the signing of him, that makes guys like a signing like that a little bit more dangerous. I just think that's a pipe dream that's never going to happen, and I'm okay with, at that point maybe part of the trade is Nick Castellanos, and they're willing to take him on for $20 million for one more year to bolster their outfield while they move on and all that stuff. I'm no. Sean saying,
who I would take a flyer on though from that Anaheim team, if he's available, would be Anthony Rendon. Guy used to play in Washington.
Yeah,
I would take a flyer on him just to see if they could get him, in a trade. Just for, he's an experienced third baseman. He always did well in the National League. He just hasn't transitioned to the big free agent that they signed him to be. Al, I got one question for you, buddy, because I know we're up against it this week. What are you having?
Well, I kind of told you already what I'm having.
Yeah, you told me, but you got to tell people.
I know, but I'm saying it's what happened. Funny little story is, walking through the supermarket with the wifey the other day, and Giant has a complete whole pork shoulder, 13 pounds, just sitting there. And you know me, I love smoking meat. Yeah, I had jokes. You can insert your jokes there. And I would absolutely be remiss to go away from a $16 13-pound pork shoulder. So what did I do? I got it home, ripped it open last night, turned the smoker on, seasoned that baby up, and guess what we're having for today? Pulled pork, baby.
Go. I think I'm going to do tacos. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law, by the way, Mom, Terry Cologne, speedy recovery. She's in the hospital. So anyway, okay, cool. So he was bought out by the Angels. Okay, cool. But I would like to see what's going to be myself, I'm going to be sitting in front of the tube watching TV real quick out because I know we got to go. Already won on Carolina plus 2.5, Seattle minus 1.5 for yesterday. I have Atlanta minus 3, Detroit plus 3, Philly minus 7, and Pittsburgh money line for tonight. There are your picks. And I'll see you guys right after the game. I will be here live talking the Tanner McKee game.
Second seed, Philadelphia Eagles with Tanner McKee at the helm. And then they're going to have a great offense, and everybody's going to say we should sit Jalen Hurts.
Get ready for it.
Nobody has tape on Tanner McKee. He's going to be the complete unknown, and he's so much better with his offense.
Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson, 4 touchdowns, though. You watch it. He's going to be the next Polk High star right there.
I got him getting 1. I got Bigsby getting 2. I want to see Tank run the ball today. Let Tank run.
Yeah, let Tank loose there. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining us. Let's see, 28-14. Let's go. Have a great year. Sean, hopefully talk to you soon, buddy. Have a great one. Everybody for joining us this morning, thank you. For all the birthday wishes, thank you.
Al's 21 again.
What was that?
I said you're 21 again.
21 plus. 21 plus. Other than that, guys, thank you and have a great day. We are out of here.